Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers! Good afternoon. Hot, sticky, humid day today, 90-something degrees, 3,000% humidity. I mean, cuts like a knife. It's super hot. Anyway, I just took my van into my local shop for an oil change and inspection. But he couldn't take me today because I was just a walk-in, didn't make an appointment. Busy. Everybody's getting their shit done, you know? So I have to drop it off tomorrow sometime, get my van inspected and oil changed, as well as my son's Acura Legend. Yesterday, my friend Mike from Mike's Lawn Service Babylon came by when I wasn't home. I had left his chipper shredder on the driveway, as well as the Toro recycler, both fixed, I don't know, in an hour or so, you know? So I just gave it to him after I fixed it. I just fixed it for him for free because he's my friend, and also he gives me stuff on a regular basis. For services rendered on those two items, he brought me this. It is a Poulan with a Kohler XT series engine. It's an XT 675. That's right, that typical engine that I've been getting lately. Has a filter and cover, whatever, and I sprayed some go-go juice in here and it started for a second. I think the carburetor's dirty and that's it. Everything else seems to be in order. It is just a push mower. This looks exactly like the one he gave me a couple of weeks ago where it was self-propelled, and I fixed that too. That thing runs great. So this is the push mower version. It looks just like a Craftsman, you know what I mean? I may even have a bag that fits this because the self-propelled ones, the bracket for the bagger is up here. You know, that V-shaped thing that sticks up, and the bagger has a stud that sticks out on each side and it rests on the V, right? Those things I don't have. But I do have the regular baggers that clip right onto there. You know what I mean? So I might have a bagger for this. As you can see, it's an AYP product, so it's shaped exactly like a Craftsman, you know, push mower. So I mean, I think the engine works, and it just maybe needs the carb clean because it just turned over with some starter fluid. That's it. Today I'm going to be working on part 2 of my LT2000 repower project. As you know from episode 1, we got this engine from Nick from Bellport. It's a Kohler Courage 20, and we put it on here. We mounted it with 3 bolts, not 4. If I know the engine works, I'll try to finagle that bolt into the 4th one. Really hard to get into. We had trouble getting this to crank because it was so tight, but I have a feeling that the battery was just dead, you know. Both my jumper pack as well as the battery that was in here, which is supposed to be DONESKI, didn't work right. Got the starter on here. I have a feeling that the safety switches are busted on here, so it will only start through jumping the starter or getting your own jumper wire. Connect one side to positive, the other side touching the solenoid tab, the trigger tab on the solenoid, which mimics turning the key. So because in that way you can see if it starts by bypassing the safety switches. So I think the solenoid works, I think the ignition switch works, but the safety switches need to be bypassed for me to be able to use the key to turn it. Like I said, we put the starter in, oiled the shaft because it was binding, right? And it will only start if you have the magneto kill wire disconnected. I charged that battery for 2 days. I took it off the charger yesterday to let it sit for a full day. Today I tested the voltage on the battery and it showed 12.8. So it actually holds a good charge. So hopefully we'll see if this thing cranks with the spark plug in it, right? Right now, I've got my wire connected on the positive terminal, the battery. Just gonna touch the starter positive terminal and see if this cranks. I have the key switch on, but it won't crank because you have to either sit on it or step on the brake, but Even when you do that, it doesn't start. So here we go. Oof. Got some fryage going on here. No good. Ow! Alright, so I really shouldn't do that because it's, you know, full voltage going through that little thin wire, you know what I mean? That's why they have the solenoid. I'm just going to jump the solenoid and see what happens. Alright, you know what? I think I'm going to have to bypass the switches so we can use the ignition key because it's kind of unsafe doing it the way I'm doing it. The battery seems like it's pretty strong right now. Also, you know, a couple of days ago I bumped up all the tires, and it's been 2 days now. Both left side, right side tires hold air. The two on the left side are flat. So let's bypass this ignition switch, the safety switches. I'm going to remove the gas tank first so we can have access to the wiring. Stay. So we're going to bypass the safety switches. Here's the bottom of the ignition. It's the harness. Push this tab up. Here's the ignition switch module. On here we could see, well, you can't see, it's all full of sputs. I'm going to figure out which is the M and the S. So I cleaned it out. This one here is the M for a magneto. And this right above it is the S for the solenoid. Okay? So if I take the switch and I look at it, I match it up the way it's supposed to go, like that, I'll know that the bottom one here is the M and this one over here is the S. You look at the color wire, and the M is the one that has two black ones coming out, one of them being a white stripe, the other one being the white one. So I'm going to trace this white wire first. We'll do the solenoid first. I'm just going to pull it. And look, you can see I'm pulling it, and it's pulling right here. And this goes down to the safety switches. Right there. This one here. I'm pulling it. Look, I can pull this. Wait a minute. There we go. That's pulling. That's pulling right there. This one right here. This one is the safety switch. The solenoid. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it with my new vice grip wire cutters. Cut it all the way to the bottom. There we go. Pulling it out so I can get some more slack because I already pulled it out. Oh hell, I'm just going to pull this all the way out. There we go. Okay, this is a solenoid wire, which is connected to here. This is the tab for it. As you can see, this is connected onto something else because it goes through safety switches all over the place. Right there. There you go. See? White wire from the ignition switch module connected onto this wire directly. I'm going to splice that, connect them two, and reconnect this to the tab, just like that. So we're bypassing that. This all led into here, which also leads to somewhere else. So this is bad. We just bypassed it. So I was just looking through everything, and it appears that the magneto is actually directly connected. I traced the magneto wire, the magneto kill wire directly through the wiring harness, and it looks like it goes right into here. You know, it's the black one with the white stripe, but it has another one that's connected to it, which makes me feel like I need to cut that because that's going to, oh, here it is. The free wire just sitting there like that. But you know what? That's fine. We just put the module back in, and I'm gonna just connect the thing. And then we're just gonna turn the key and see if it cranks the ignition. It should. Okay, we just we bypassed the solenoid, right? The safety switches for the solenoid. So we'll put the key in here. Let's see if it cranks. There we go. It does crank. See? But it's having difficulty turning it. Wow! It started! Amazing! Let's do that again. So it's having difficulty getting over a compression stroke. But once it did, it worked okay. Let's check the oil. It's very low on oil. Kohler commands and Kohler courages take 10W30. So I'm going to drop a little bit of my 10W30 synthetic in there. It was at the low line, just add a little bit more. That way it helps splash it around, whatever, and maybe allow it to start a little bit easier. If it does, can you believe it started though? It's not connected to the gas at all, or is it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's try it again. If it's still hard to start, we may have to try the valves before we take the engine apart. Uh-oh. Something blew because I heard pieces flying. Okay, so you know what blew was the top of this. The pin that holds it onto this groove, whatever, a C-clip or something, and the top part of this flew right off. Plus a spring, I think. I heard some over there, and I heard something in the back. There's no way I'm gonna find it. So I'm pretty much screwed now because I definitely do not have an extra thing that goes on here, not to mention the fact I don't even know what it looks like. So that's the story. But it looks like it can start, you know what I mean? It started a couple of times. There's no muffler, so you heard the explosions. Bam, 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 bam. I think maybe we could do the valves or something like that, but right now my pickle is that this just free moves like that. We've got no spring here. I might have to go look at some pictures to see how what I'm missing here. Spring and a thing and a C-clip. But the Bendix gear looks okay. I've got this old snowblower starter. I think the switch might work, but I think the motor is bad. But it has a similar spring that looks like it fits. Plus it has a C-clip on here with a washer. So maybe I'll just put it on there temporarily and see if it'll keep this on here. I found this other spring, but this doesn't look like it's very good tension. So I'm just going to try to put... I used a Briggs and Stratton spring from a starter. I found a washer that fit this stud, and I found a C-clip from that snowblower one. So it's holding on there. I guess I'll try it. I also found this little elbow here with a coupler that goes onto the muffler engine block. I removed the studs and put in regular muffler bolts. So at least this way it's not that loud. It's still loud, but it's not like it'll damage the valves, you know? Okay, let's give it a couple more cranks, see what happens. Holy cow. Put a little R-clip in there. That's not gonna work, but we'll try it anyway. Holy cow. Okay, that's it. I've got a E-clip on here now. All right. If this doesn't work, I give up. I'm gonna have to go get another starter, or at least the top part of that, you know? Otherwise, we're not gonna be able to test it anymore. So let's see if this final clip works. Son of a gun. How do I get myself into these fixes? Huh? Just tell me. How does it always happen? Holy cow. Then I thought maybe I'll put 2 washers there, because 1 washer will impact, taking away half of the impact power, and it won't be that hard of an impact for this E-clip. So I put 2 washers there. Let's see. Let's just try it for the hell of it. Holy cow. I was looking through my stuff and I found the broken part. It flew all the way over there. It was on the floor. So this little spacer thingamajig is broken, and it had like one of those thick wires shaped like a C hold around this groove here. So there's a spring that probably rides on this thing here. And that little C thing that goes around there stops it right there. So when this goes up, it stops right around there. And because this has like a cup there, it prevents that wire from any space from coming out. So that's what I'm missing. A spring, this thing, and that C clip type wire thing. I don't know. You'll never believe it. Right near my feet, I found the spring. So look, I'm gonna put the spring back on here. I'm gonna put this thing back on here. Right? I'm gonna hold it with a vice grip. If I could just find a vice grip. There we go. I got a thick wire. Just fits there. Gonna tighten it like that. See if that works. Okay, there we go. Now let's try it. Yeah! Take this magneto kill off just a second. Okay, so I was on this side, just trying to turn the key and stuff, right? And look what I discovered. I noticed that the top sump was moving around as this thing was cranking. There's a broken bolt in here, which is not sealing properly, which means you're not going to have enough compression. I noticed all these bolts were loose too. Let's see how loose. Pretty loose. Look at this one. Crazy, right? Tons of loose bolts, man. No wonder it's why it's not going to work. Crazy talk. Because that is one of the reasons why these Kohler courages suck so bad. It's an infamous problem. It's that the sump bolts come loose. See if that might be tight enough to get some compression. Very tight. Oh man. Let's see how out of whack the valves are. I just touched the starter. It's super hot from all that testing. I'm not gonna push it anymore. I just manually tightened the sump cover bolts with my impact and my 10mm wrench. So they're all much tighter now. Hopefully we'll have better compression. But let's do the valves while we're waiting. Holy cow. This rod is not even connected. It was off. Can you believe that? As a matter of fact, look. Okay, now it's on. Look at this. This guide is super loose. I think we found our problem, fellers. Holy cow. Can you believe that? I'm gonna get the right socket. 13mm on the inner. Let's see if this one's loose too. A little bit, not bad. Okay, now I'm going to find top dead center and that's top dead center. This should be 5/1000ths, and it's super loose. See? We got to tighten this, and then there's 7 on this side. This is actually tight, because I would tighten this too tight, so I should back that out a little. I'm sorry, it's right here, duh. That's too loose too. Alright, just did the valves. 5 and 7. Much better now, because before, one of the rocker arms wasn't even on the push rod. Can you believe that? But starter is still very hot. I don't know why. Stubby screwdrivers and the bristle brush wire kit from my friend Dom Whalen. Great gifts from subscribers. Thank you. The spark plug back on, and man, that starter is still hot. So I'm not going to wait around for the starter and all that. Had just about enough for one day. Let's continue this tomorrow.
See you next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as, if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.